Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very, very first board game gateway, Meeples Court. With me today, we have Ralph and Neeber.
What's up? It's me.
And I personally like to think of him as the organised and Neeber.
Thank you. Yes, that's 100%. It's 100% true.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get silly, let's introduce what we are doing here. So like I said, this is our very, very first Meeples Court. This is a new series that we have been hinting at for a little while, and we decided that tonight's the night. We're going to give it a good run. And the topic for tonight is Crokinole versus Klask. We need to know which is the better game and why. And more importantly, we are not going to make that judgment today. We are going to leave it to you guys to make that judgment. The lovely gentlemen here today will be putting forward their cases, debate style. Ralph, he is for Crokinole. And we have the Mr. Disorganized, he is for Klask. So, like I said, I did say debate style, and while there is no formal debate question that we are debating over, but I suppose we will say we are trying to work out which is the better game. So,
I'm going to redo this.
So for anyone who is unsure what debate style is, what will happen is the gentlemen here, they will each get an opportunity to do an intro, so where they will describe what the game that they are presenting is. Then each of them will have the opportunity to present 3 points, one at a time. 5 points we're going to do. Okay, apologies, it is 5 points.
I've already convinced him, so I'm in a
Great.
Spot.
And they will each take a turn presenting a point at a time. Finally, there will be an opportunity for rebuttal, and I'm looking forward to that because I'm assuming that is where all the shitbaggery will come out.
100%. 100%.
And then closing arguments, and then from that point onwards, it will be up to you guys, the listeners, to then decide which is the better game, Crokinole or Klask. Gentlemen, I am going to be strict to the rules here.
Oh, sure.
Intro, 60 seconds, with 15 seconds buffer. But at 60 seconds, you will get a warning. Points, you will get 90 seconds per point to make your point.
I am worried about that because some of my points are quick, but some of them, there's a bit
That's
of
fine.
backstory to
That's
them,
fine.
yeah.
You can stay under, but when we start going over, there may be problems.
Okay.
Rebuttal, well, let's be fast and loose with that one because I think that's where the fun's going to be.
Yeah.
And closing arguments, you will get 90 seconds.
Well, these
again.
are both dexterity games, so we'll be fast and loose.
It's true.
Fast and loose with it, baby. Let's give it a go.
Okay, so gentlemen, are we ready?
We are ready. Who is going first for the...
I think it should be Ralph because he's been sitting there prepared for a little
All right,
while
fair
now.
enough.
But then he's not going to listen.
Okay.
I feel like
No.
his whole defensive is I'm busy.
I specifically brought this out so that I could write rebuttal points. If I
No,
need
we're going to do it. We're a board game podcast. We're going to do this right. We're going to schwazi it.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it. I hope you know I'm using my rude finger.
I'm not. There's just... You may take opening arguments to you.
I think that's
Ralph.
the debate right there.
So, Ralph, your time starts
The
now.
only win you're going to get all night, mate.
This
Tell the
isn't the
people
opening
what is
argument.
Crokinole.
I'm going to tell you all what Crokinole is. So Crokinole is a board game, much to Nee's detest. He claims it is not a board game. It is a board game, and I will tell you why. But essentially what it is, it's a giant plank of wood in a circular fashion. Think of it as if like it's a roundabout on the road, just shrunk down, and two players typically sit opposite sides. And on that giant circle, there's a hole in the center, which is worth 20 points. And then the inner ring is worth 15 points. The next outer ring is 10. And the last outer ring is 5 points. So it kind of looks like a bit of a dartboard top down. And you're going to have your shooting zone. And when it's your turn, you flick your disc and you're trying to land it in the center. If you don't get it there, you're going to take it off, take it away. If your opponent's disc is on the board anywhere, you don't have to flick it in the center. You have to touch your opponent's disc. Ideally, you want to flick it off. There's some other rules to it, but the way the scoring works is...
60 seconds.
Oh, pressure. It's the difference between the two players. That's why every shot counts. This game features heavily every board game meetup we are at, and I believe that is my time. So.
It is time. So,
All right.
no. We have to applaud that. It was.
Yeah,
It was a clear and definitive description of what Crokinole is?
Absolutely was.
Thank you.
Okay, have you finished this?
I'm ready to go for my intro.
you sure?
I am 100% ready to
All
go.
right. So tell us why Klask is terrible.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
You
I will
can't be
start.
biased, by
deep.
the way.
Excuse me,
I
my
don't-
time is going.
no,
Do you
no,
mind?
hold
Reese,
on, no.
Guys, stop the start.
Clock.
Do not touch my phone.
Deep in the pubs of Finland, a game arose from the ashes of what was burnt Crokinole boards. Klask, the more superior game. They were drunk, they were finished, and they decided that they wanted to use magnets to hit a little ball on a little wooden table game. What did they have? Magnets, plastic, wood, and some 50-cent piece coins that they could use to then keep score of what it was. Klask is a very simple game in which basically it's air hockey without the air. We're using magnets, we're hitting a ball, and I have to hit that ball into my other opponent's hole without falling into my own hole and without getting these little white things called crowns stuck to my little piece. I can hit it to his piece as well if I really want to stuff him up. First to 7 points is the winner. I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, he can't even tell you how the scoring is supposed to work in Crokinole. Klask is the superior game, and at the end of my 5 points, I plan to show you why.
That's very aggressive early on.
You know what? I'm setting the tone. I'm setting the tone for this whole
Very,
debate.
very aggressive.
Don't worry. He
relax.
can't last long. So
That's not what. No, I'm not going. You know what? I'm going to stop right there. This is a kid show.
Ralph, first point.
all right. So kids show. Crokinole was invented by a woman in Canada in 1875. Eckhart. Eckhart knew exactly what people wanted in a game, specifically men. What men wanted at the time was a hole to aim for. Klask does not have a hole, therefore there is no goal, no point, nothing to strive for. The key to a great game is it's easy to learn, yet hard to master. Crokinole creates a social environment. In each city, there's competitions on Crokinole. You never hear of a class competition. In fact, I've never heard of Finland. That was it.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming you released the remainder of your time. Okay. First point.
My first point. I would like to bring up my first point to the audience. First and foremost, we're going to be talking about the cost of the game. We're going to start right up the center. We're just going to lay it in there. The cost of a Klask board in Australia is currently $69.95, not including shipping. The cost of the worst Crokinole board that you could buy is $149.95, not including shipping. And if you actually, look, if you're going to be spending money on a Crokinole board, you need to also, they can be up to $450 depending on the workmanship. But that's not the only cost that you need. You need to buy wax. You need to buy, let's say, a rag to wipe that wax on there. The cost keeps skyrocketing and skyrocketing. Klask is a simple game made so that you can play it with your friends at a pub. You can literally, because of that, they have kept the cost down. It is made with plywood, and that's about it, really, other than a couple of magnets which you can buy for $3 off of, say, a Chinese kind of, Temu or something like that. But in general, if you want a cheap game that's not going to break the bank, Klask is your first choice when it comes to dexterity 1v1 games. I would like to give the rest of my time over to him for that. But that is my first point, the cost.
Still really aggressive.
He's really aggressive, don't worry, I'm gonna get factual later.
All right. Second point.
This is a quick one.
Cool.
Because I don't need to say much for this one. Klask uses magnets. You can't play the game without these magnets. Crokinole does not use magnets. You can play the game without magnets. Which means you can never play Klask near an electromagnetic field.
Okay. Okay.
That's a valid point.
That is, scientifically, I think he's right there. I mean, I can't, but is that it?
That was it. Crokinole is the better game. You just need to be in an atmosphere with gravity.
Fair enough.
So just a question, just so our audience is clear, and I want to know: have you tried to play Klask near a magnetic field?
No,
or near like an MRI? Like, all right. So just in general, just for our listeners, has anyone tried to play Klask near an MRI machine? If you have, I would love to know.
Fair enough.
Okay, your next point, sir.
I played Crokinole.
And that would have been safe.
Yeah, because it works.
Okay, my second point. Crokinole uses fingers. But what if your finger is broken? How many shooter fingers are you saying that they have, Ralph? You claim that if I tried to play Klask in an electromagnetic field, say near an MRI, that I would be, I'd have a hard time. But I tell you what, mate, people who don't have good dexterity with their fingers, or broken fingers, or no hands, they can't play.
But they can play Klask.
Absolutely, they could. You could hook it around your little arm and still do that. I'm just saying, when it comes to inclusion in today's day and age, Klask is the one that will give you a better time, as it can be played by anyone. Don't have hands? Use your feet. Don't have feet? Well, then you may be a bit out of luck at that point, and maybe playing Klask is not to have to worry. But I will just say, the most inclusive game when it comes to dexterity is Klask, as you don't need to worry about little pointy, just like, my finger. And also, let's be honest, fingernails can get hurt pretty quick. Whereas with Klask, I can hold one end of the magnet under the board, the game board, and I don't even have to worry about getting hurt because it's all happening above me. That's my second point.
Okay, Ralph. Third point, Crokinole.
All right, it's interesting you bring up inclusivity. I can't even say that word anymore. But with Klask, you can only play it 2 players.
Yeah.
Crokinole, if you have 4 friends around, you can all play Crokinole.
Quick question, is it better at 4 or at 2?
It's actually pretty decent.
Hold on.
Hang on. It's actually pretty good at 4 because they're teams of 2.
Sorry.
We're pausing.
This
There's a
is
referee.
officially your first warning.
Oh.
Can I say objection?
No, you can't.
Fair enough.
First warning. Continue, Ralph.
I think I'm. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
That's okay.
So at 4 players, it's teams of 2. Klask, you can't play 4 players. There is a 4-player version of Klask, actually. It is circular. It kind of looks like a Crokinole board because they realize Crokinole is better. There's still no holes, though. And if you look at the BGG rankings, it's 3,704th on BGG, which is just shameful, and it brings shame to your family now.
Whoa. Fair enough. Okay.
Audience says we're only halfway through our points. And it's already getting personal.
It's okay.
So it's only going to get better.
I'd like to point out I have not attacked him personally at all.
He interrupted my argument. He got a formal warning.
He did get a formal warning. Keep in mind though, I did not give him a formal warning for attacking you, so or your family. I mean, I'm going to say like
I've noted.
Like I know your family. They can defend themselves. So who am I to defend them?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't defend them.
May I do my third point?
You may, yes.
Thank you very much. I'd like to point out that Crokinole's scoring system is complete and utter bullcrap compared to the simplicity of Klask. Klask is simply move your little coin further up the edge of the score track, which is on the side of the board, to be honest. And as soon as you get to the 7th slot, you win the game. Crokinole, on the other hand, has a scoring system in which I need to have a master's degree in mathematics to be able to understand what the hell is going on. Not only do I... So, at the beginning argument, Ralph tried to tell you how to score the game within 60 seconds. He couldn't. I'd like to tell you that I told you how to win the game very, very quickly. When it comes to scoring, this means that it's a lot better with younger kids. Because younger kids don't have to do math. They don't even have to worry about it. They can just move the coin. And in fact, the dexterity game of Klask continues to the actual scoring because they move the coin further up the score track, continuing to show why Klask is the better dexterity game over Crokinole. Crokinole, it plays up to 150 points. Why? No one knows. And you know what? No one knows why he thinks it's better either.
Your 4th point.
Nate, you are a man of stats.
I am.
And I know you love your stats. Let's take a look at the Board Game Geek Top 100. At number 47, invented in 1875, we still have Crokinole. It outranks games such as Decrypto, Search for Planet X, and even Damien's beloved On Mars. That is quite the mantle it's holding. Whereas Klask isn't in the top 100, nor the top 200. It is 248th. You seem to claim that Crokinole is not a board game. I present you facts.
Okay, fair enough.
Through the book at him.
Your last, but your fourth point, sir.
Fantastic. My fourth point is a very short and easy one. Klask. Klask in Finnish means slap. It is the sound in which it is the sound of the ball dropping into the scoring hole. That's just fun. Everything about this game screams fun. Designed by the Finnish in the pubs. You know that they were covered. You know that their land covered with snow. They needed to come up with games. Klask, at its core, is designed as a really fun and easy game. And you know what? The sound that it makes is very reminiscent of games like air hockey that you would find in the arcade. I've played many games of Crokinole. In fact, I have enjoyed Crokinole, but it's quiet. Quiet's boring. Klask is anything but boring. It is fast, frantic, and makes a lot of sound as that ball is pinging around the game board. Klask means slap. That's my fourth point.
And for our listeners watching this, that's right. From now on, it's not slap that bass. It is Klask that bass. Okay.
Life is a circle. All the best things in life are circles. The earth, pizza. Crokinole board is a circle. Therefore, Crokinole is life. I've seen a 3-year-old play Crokinole and enjoy it. I've seen a 93-year-old play Crokinole and really kick that 3-year-old's ass. It fits the full circle of life. Nee, I think you've owned Klask for maybe 3 months. I've lent you my board for about 3 weeks of Crokinole, and I will put money on it that you've played more Crokinole than you have played Klask.
How much?
You set this up. I'm not getting involved here, but I'm curious as well.
I'm curious too. $20.
$20.
See, the thing is, I could just say it because I don't track my games of Klask with my kids.
Because they're not games.
Hold on. In that case, I'm going to drop.
No,
20
that's
on
fine.
this.
Damn, he's got kids. I forgot.
I can't take that bet only just because I couldn't. I could just say, yeah, I've played more with my kids, and I couldn't. I would say, but
okay.
I would say it is actually probably more towards Klask.
I'll allow this just because it was a possibility of me also making money.
Yeah, that's right.
No warning this time.
Thank you very much.
All right, so your last point.
Thank you very much. Ralph made an earlier point. This is not a rebuttal, but he did make an earlier point about saying
Like
Crokinole has world championships, but Klask does not. He's wrong.
Ooh.
Klask actually does have the world championships. Such monumental figures as Thomas Perus or Kohei Tajima have set a foot. Have set foot in the grand finals of the Klask World Championships. In fact, you can watch their matches on YouTube on the Klask Game YouTube channel. In fact, if you were to go to YouTube and type in Klask, you would find their YouTube channel with live YouTube recordings as well as highlight packages from the World Championships games. If you were to go to YouTube and type in Crokinole World Championships, you would get one video. You would get a one-camera video of an old Canadian man playing against a 22-year-old man, sitting there in their quiet, clicking their fingers, shooting the disc forward. Klask at its core is a much more exciting game to watch than Crokinole, and that is shown by the fact that Klask Game, the YouTube channel, has got currently 7,750 YouTube subscribers on their channel. How much does Crokinole have? 0. It doesn't.
Subscribing to
It does not even have a YouTube. There is not even a World Crokinole Federation channel on YouTube, and I think that speaks volumes to the competitive nature of Klask versus Crokinole.
All right, that is time. By the way, listeners, if you are going to that YouTube channel and checking out Klask, by all means, go to our YouTube channel as well.
Yep.
So YouTube/Board Game Gateway and subscribe to that while you're there too. All right. Here we go. This is the fun part. Rebuttals. I'm not even going to put, no, look, I'm going to put the timer on for rebuttals. We're going to see how we go. Gentlemen, keep it dirty. Keep it mean.
First,
All
fantastic.
So, Ralph, your first rebuttal, sir.
So this isn't properly formulated. I do have a decent closing argument for later. Firstly, you mentioned there's pubs in Finland. I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you the facts. And if you can't deal with facts, maybe you don't belong in the Meeples Court. Just putting that out there.
Ooh.
Yeah, stop there. That's my job.
Yeah,
Well then rein him in, Mr. Adjudicator.
Stop trying to take my job.
Hang on. So,
Okay.
so you also say the cost...
Can you see the bias that I deal with?
You said the cost of Klask is $69 in Australia.
Yes.
That is actually incorrect. The cost of Klask in Australia is your dignity and the shame that you bring to your family.
Sorry, I like to use real world numbers when it comes to the actual cost of something, because we know I have no dignity from a long time ago.
All right, fair enough. I forgot who I was talking to for a minute.
Exactly right.
You say Klask is fast and frantic.
Yes.
And just fun.
Yes.
I make love like Crokinole. I don't make love like Klask.
Okay. Wow.
No one wants a Klask.
I didn't realize I was going to learn a lot about Ralph on this particular episode of the Meeples Court, but there you go.
He's putting it all on the line.
And I am. I'm throwing everything I've got, mate. Kids can definitely play Crokinole.
That is an interesting segue.
Interesting segue.
Can they score Crokinole?
You don't need to play at tournament levels. You don't play Crokinole to 150 points. You actually play to 300 points. 150 is just a house rule that we do.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Can they score to 300 points?
They could if you count them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what age could a kid start playing Crokinole and have those those experiences where they could try and beat me and
I reckon
understand?
Thomas will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. 7, 5.
This is his rebuttal. You will
Yeah,
get your
5.
You said I could keep it dirty. I'm asking questions about my rebuttal.
on your turn.
Oh,
Yeah, from 5 years of age, I believe they can keep a full scoring game.
all right. Jeez.
Yeah. That's all I got, mate.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
first
I've
of
got
all,
some good closing that.
okay. First of all, you started. I'd like to point out the very first thing you said that Crocodile's a board game. We all know it's not a board game, and I am going to say, you said I would say it's not a board game, and I'm going to agree with you. It's not a board game, but that's fine. That's not the point of the argument.
No. I said that you would say that.
At the beginning of your in your opening arguments, you stated that Crokinole was played in cities all over the world.
It is.
What cities? See, he can't answer the question. Moving on. You said that Crokinole plays up to 4 players. What if I don't have 3 friends, Ralph? What am I supposed to do at that point? How is that relevant? Whereas Klask, I only need 1 friend. Maybe it could be you. Maybe it could be the adjudicator. But I only need.
I didn't like Klask at all.
I will say. Well, this is
you gotta know your audience.
You know what? We're not talking about you. However, my 3-year-old son, my 7-year-old daughter, they love Klask. He lovingly refers to it as the magnet game, and he loves playing it all the time. And in fact, he understands how to score the game and can score the game by himself at 3 years old. He wouldn't be able to do that in Crokinole at all. In fact, he does not even understand or have the dexterity to flick those discs there. He does like to flick the discs, but we can't actually play the actual game. So one of my rebuttals to you was when you were saying, anyone can play it. That's false. Whereas I find that with Klask, I can be playing Klask with my kids at a much younger age than I could be playing Crokinole with. And I'm talking about playing the actual game. Yes, I know that I could get them in here and actually flick discs and we could have a fun time. But I wouldn't be playing the game of Crokinole. And that's one of the issues that I have. You mentioned that in Board Game Geek, that Klask was not rated in the top 1000s. You know what? I'm happy about that. I take that as a badge of honor, because that shows you that the game is designed as a pub game. It is designed to be taken to a place where you can bring your friends in, get them around something at a pub, and we can just sit around and watch them play it. We can watch a game of Crokinole sitting around it as well. But I ask you this question, would you ever take a Crokinole board to a pub?
Yeah, I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt that. Where's your evidence? See, he has none. Moving on.
Can you put a photo of me at the pub?
If you send it to me before the editors, I'll try and do that. But the point that I'm trying to say here is that whilst Crokinole is rated 47 and has been around for this for that amount of time, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is a better board game. The actual game itself is played quicker. Klask is played generally a lot quicker than it is than Crokinole. Crokinole can be a very one-sided affair. As one person who has practiced and has the dexterity, who knows how the game works, will have a decided advantage over the person they are playing against. Whereas in Klask, you don't need to have those kind of masteries. You can get good at it and know the angles, but in general, the game is about quick reflexes and having a lot of fun with the other person at the other end of the table. All in all you said a lot of words in your points, but your points lack the substance that your game claims to have.
How dare you say words during a debate, right?
I know, it's how terrible of me.
All right, closing arguments, lads. Ralph, take it away.
All right.
90 seconds.
The scoring in Crokinole is simple enough, where your score is the difference between the two players. This makes absolutely every shot in the game crucial, challenging, and exciting. Of course, there can be runaway leaders, but that's where the game becomes skillful, where it is easy to learn yet hard to master. Klask is just simple. A simple game for simple people. A game of Klask is over in a minute, and lasting a minute isn't a good thing. Crokinole not only has stood the test of time by being invented 150 years ago, but has remained unchanged and is timeless. Johnny Cochran once said, "If the glove don't fit, you must acquit."
You okay? Timely.
It's time for Klask to finish last. Crokinole is life.
Wow, I'll give you that. Was pretty good.
It's pretty funny, actually. All right, Nee, Mr. Disorganized. I don't even know why you bring that junk to my court, but hey.
It's okay. It's my junk.
Your closing arguments.
Thank you very much. During the time of COVID, we were subjected to lockdowns, we were subjected to isolation, and we were subjected to some of the hardest times that we've ever had in recent history. The shining beacons of light, such as Klask, shone the way through for people to be able to get back to the table and play games face to face. There is nothing wrong with simplicity. I would argue that some of the best things in life are the most simple. Ralph says that Crokinole is the better game, and he's entitled to his wrong opinion. But when it comes down to it, we are looking at what game provides the most amount of fun, can be taken to the most amount of places, and can be played with the most amount of people. Klask is the game that I have found that can be played with more people, in more places, and can be taught a lot quicker. At the end of the day, we play games to have fun, but I can't get people to the table if they don't understand what the hell it is they're trying to play. Klask.
Well said, sir. Okay, and with that, viewers, that is it. That is our first debate. That is our... Oh, look at this. The shaking hands and everything.
I was on the table, but sure.
So, viewers, what have we learnt today? We have learnt that Crokinole can be played in an MRI machine. We have learnt
can't
that...
be. Oh, no, sorry,
Crokinole
can't. Klask can't.
Klask
Sorry.
Klask can't.
That's right. Sorry. Yes.
We've also learnt that there are no pubs in Finland. And, and we've also learnt that apparently during lockdown, instead of looking for bog rolls, you should have gotten a game of Klask, and it would have shown you the way to bog roll.
Absolutely.
So, the rest is up to you guys. So, do you think that Crokinole is the better game?
Pew, pew, pew.
Or do you think that Klask?
Klask
is the
forever,
better game?
baby.
So, leave your comments below. Are you Team Ralph and Team Crokinole, or Team Neeber and Team Klask? Let us know, and we will be tallying up the votes over the next couple of weeks, and we will be announcing the results on an episode in the very near future.
And our podcast episode, absolutely.
Either way, whichever way this goes, that was a lot of fun.
Well, yeah. So we are, and this again, this is the first one. We will absolutely be doing more of these because I will be in one of those chairs in the very near future.
Absolutely. If
And-
you have ideas for debates that you would like us to see, put them in the comments down below.
Absolutely, absolutely. So look, lads, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Team Crokinole, Team Klask,
Thank you very much.
and listeners, thank you very much, and we will catch you very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Real cases. Real people. Real Meeples. The Meeples Court.